Hey everybody, it's Andy.
And it's Rachel.
And we are getting close to fall, which for our family begins September 1st, even though in Texas, fall usually starts around Christmas time. But in anticipation of that, we're planning out what we're going to be reading and revisiting some old favorites. So today we're going to give you some recommendations of fall books to read. So you can go to the library and put them on hold early. And for fall, we like cozy stories, but we especially like scary stories. Oh my gosh.
Get to bed.
So with that in mind, I am going to be presenting quite a few scary stories. I think Rachel might be leaning more toward the thrilling, but my first recommendation probably is coming as no surprise. We've got The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. And this is a classic of horror, not only in book form, but in film as well. It does possession stories and exorcisms better than anybody I've ever read. And I especially love it because it does a really good job of answering the question, what do you do when science doesn't have all the answers? So this is a definite 5-star for me and a good entryway into the horror genre.
Fun fact, I've been to those stairs that were in the movie.
I'm glad you're still alive.
Climbed up them, went down them several times.
Holy cannoli.
Back when my knees were good.
Yes.
All right. I'm starting off with an entire series.
Can we do that?
I'm doing
I thought this was single book recommendations.
I mean, if you're going to recommend the first one of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, then you have to then read the second book and the third book to finish it out. And I don't have it, but there is I think there's a prequel, and I haven't read it, but I've also heard a lot of people say that it is not really worth reading. These three, absolutely adored. They are YA, considered YA. There are some topics I'm not sure I'd want every teenager to read about, so you might want to read them prior to your teenager reading them. But they're not even like, they just give fall vibes, I think. Just like they happen on the East Coast, where I just can imagine fall very easily. And there is a murder mystery. This one goes in a completely different direction than I thought it was going. When a teenager starts kind of looking back at some of the clues and the things and the suspects that have been put in place after another person is murdered in her hometown. So that one was excellent. This one, I would say it is all about the audiobook. I mean, it has the clues on the cover, because she then has a podcast that she is like now looking at other murders, and true crime podcasts are the best anyways.
It's giving Ashley flowers.
There you go. So definitely listen to this one. And then the ending of this just wrapped it all up so perfectly. And I would say it was just the perfect trilogy for if you like murder.
And who doesn't in the fall?
In the fall, why not?
You know, murders always seem to spike in summer, but I think it's fall where it really shines.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of shining murder, I've got Salem's Lot here, and this is not surprising, I'm sure, to anyone. Stephen King is probably the first name people think of when horror comes to mind. I think Salem's Lot is the best book he's written, and I will die on that hill. This is not overwritten. It's a great vampire story, and nothing about it is slow or boring. It's just a rip-roaring ride from start to finish.
All right. My next pick is probably one of my favorite books ever, but I feel like it is the perfect book to read in the fall because there's so many like dark, mysterious, and I mean, even like I think there's like the dark one or the dark figure is one of the main characters in this book. It is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. And it is just part fantasy, but don't let that scare you. It is part mystery. It is part romance. It is part, there's just so many, it's such a complex and beautifully written book that I feel like everyone should read, but I think it would be best in the fall.
Well, I've got here an oldie but a goodie. It's The 13th Tale by Diane Setterfield. And this book, it came out a long time ago, but I still remember a lot about it. And it is the epitome of fall vibes. It's in a lot of ways dark academia before that was a thing. And I just loved it. It's a story about a woman who goes off in search of a author's missing story, the titular 13th tale, and a lot of things unravel before the end. It's a lot of fun, a very gothic story, and one I have loved as long as I've been able to read just about.
All right, my next one is by one of our favorite authors.
This might be
This is definitely
co-recommendation.
Co-recommended. We read it actually as a buddy read.
Yes.
Last fall, I believe.
It was, yeah.
But it is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. This is actually a special edition, isn't it?
That's the UK cover,
it's the UK one. I love how they do like the matte and then the shiny on certain parts. I love that.
Can we all agree, you guys tell us, the UK just has better covers?
I think so.
I don't know why the US keeps getting shafted, but I will still pay $30 plus international post to get these.
Anyways, this book is like the ultimate haunted house book. And I just feel like there are so many different pieces to this. First of all, it is a horror book, so just know that going in. Grady Hendrix really does that horror comedy the best out of, I mean, he has his own genre, basically. My favorite Grady Hendrix that I have read. And there's a brother and sister. There are puppets. There are squirrels.
So many puppets.
There are squirrels.
Ooh.
There are family dynamics at play.
Imaginary friends.
Oh, so much.
Yeah.
Dead parents. Not a spoiler. But it's basically got everything that you would want for a fall horror and more.
Agreed. 100%. Well, I'm moving away from horror and squarely into the academic that I crave when fall comes, as the leaves are changing, the air is cooling, and I'm just like want to go back to college, even though it's been a very long time since I was there. But this is another oldie but a goodie, The Magicians by Lev Grossman. It is the story of Quentin Coldwater. He is thinking, I'll probably just end up at like Harvard or some lame school like that. But then he gets invited to try out to join a magical college where he'll learn real magic.
This is like Harry Potter for grown-ups.
It is. It's like
Or
Harry
Narnia.
Potter mixed with Narnia,
Mhm.
a little bit of everything. It has...
I did read this one.
You did.
And honestly, I have to say this is like one of the first books that Andy ever recommended to me, and I ate it up. I loved it.
Yeah. It has, I think, the best magic system I've ever read because it's so dang believable. It's like, if you study hard enough, anyone can do magic. And that still gives me hope someday.
Well, going off of the academic vibes, I picked up Hamnet, which was it's just a beautiful book. Some of the vibes, I mean, it's got the plague, it's got Shakespeare, it's got some scenes in a forest with a really big predatorial bird. It's just got, it's got a lot of things. Now this one is a sad one. You know, Hamnet was actually Shakespeare's son who did die of the plague. So there is some sadness in there, but really just a beautiful book, beautifully done, and has those like rich autumn vibes.
Well, in autumn, I often find myself dreaming of faraway places. I don't know what it is about the fall, but it's like you sort of imagine you're in another land. I think it's because it's been so hot for so long, and then suddenly it's cool and the leaves have changed, and you're like, oh, I got transported somewhere magical. In American Gods by Neil Gaiman, that magical land is America. And this is
you actually get transported.
You do actually in this one. It's the story of Shadow, who is let out of prison after his wife dies, and he gets roped in to serving some old gods, and they are fighting the new gods of America for the worship of its people. It is the most unique story I think I've read. It's such a great concept. The fall is just everywhere in it. I mean, there's such a pivotal moment on this enormous tree that I can almost envision in fall. It's such a great story, and it's the perfect one to cuddle up with when it's starting to get cool outside and dark a little early.
Well, I kept on my academic because even though this one it doesn't take place in the fall, it takes place actually over many years, but it just gives fall vibes with
Yes.
what's the university?
Oxford.
With Oxford University and the letters being written back and forth. It is Becoming Mrs. Lewis by Patti Callahan. And I think that the letters being sent back and forth, basically the story of Mr. and Mrs. Lewis, as in C.S. Lewis, this story is perfect for any time again. And the cover doesn't really give fall vibes, but I just think it definitely could be a great fall read.
I think there's something about Oxford that
Yes.
I just assume it's always fall there, even though I know it's not.
Or even just England in general, I think has a very mild climate.
Yeah.
So maybe their summers turn to fall much earlier than ours do.
Well, they consider the 80s a heat wave, so
there you go.
I've got this one, and if you've ever listened to us before, you've heard me talk about Danielle Trussoni. Angelology is the second book I read by her, and remains to this day my favorite. I had to think about it. A couple of her others are really good, but this is still my favorite. It is the story of a nun and a scholar who find out that angels are still alive and well in the world, and they are influencing politics, the media, and all these other things. And they have to track down this artifact to stop them from achieving too much power before it's too late. Everything about it like strikes home for me. I'm a sucker for angel stories, nuns, travel.
Yeah, you're into nuns.
That's a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it in. I like nuns.
I mean, in the fall, nuns can be pretty creepy.
Yeah, nothing like, it's just after dusk and in full habit garb. They're creeping towards you. You should watch The Nun. It'll creep you out.
Yeah, I bet.
But this just, even if none of those things interest you, it's also just an amazing story. It's multi-generational. It's got world travel, and every description she writes in every book she writes is so vivid. You can picture everything that's happening, and I just am obsessed.
All right, my last one is like, I feel like the ultimate fall book, and it is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager, who has quickly become one of my favorite thriller authors. So this book was my first Riley Sager, and I loved it because it was so unique. It's about a girl and her parents who move into this giant estate in Vermont, in the Vermont woods. And they start to hear things and see things, or at least the daughter does. And basically later on, the dad writes a nonfiction book all about their experience in this house. So what you're reading is partly the book, the nonfiction book called The House of Horrors, and then partly it's what's happening in real time, since the book has been written and since things have happened to the family. It just feels like another great haunted house story that really comes together in a way that you're not expecting.
I love a good twist on a haunted house.
But just, I mean, that cover just says it all. I mean,
it's a good one.
It's
a really good one.
An estate in the woods.
There's nothing creepier than Vermont.
Yeah.
Well, my final recommendation is The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. And this is another one I read probably too young, but I have loved it for 20 plus years now. You can tell. I mean, this is my copy. It's falling apart.
Oh my gosh.
And it's got things in the pages. I mean, I was annotating before it was cool. That's how much I loved this book. But it is a multi-generational story. It is all dark academia. It is about a girl whose father disappears, and he has been on the trail of finding
a professor.
And he has been on the trail of finding the real life Dracula. And so his daughter takes up the search, and it takes her truly all over the world. Another just great story, amazing descriptions, so many different plot points connected together, and even writing in letters and things like that, which I'm not always a fan of, but it works so well.
This is done so well. I read this last year and loved it. If you love vampires or just Dracula in general, it was so well done. Now it is a very thick book, so you're committing.
It's a big one.
You're really committing, but honestly, by the end, I didn't want it to end. I wanted to know what was going on, but I also did not want to put it down.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Yep.
Well, those are
the perfect ending to this.
Those are just a few of our favorite fall books. There are 1,000 more we could talk about, but I think if you set out to read all of these in the, between September and November, you would have a bunch of 5-star reads that are going to leave you really happy with the choices you've made.
I agree. Now, cozy up with a nice warm blanket and a hot drink.
Yes.
And maybe in front of a fire. And get to reading. We bid you
good reading.
All right, we have Matilda here, and she has a recommendation for everyone who is looking for a good book. So what do you have for us?
I have Charlotte's Web by E.B. White.
Awesome. And if I haven't read that book, what's it about?
Well, it's about a pig named Wilbur and a girl named Fern. And Fern loves the pig. And
what does she do that shows that she loves her pig?
she helps him.
She helps him. Okay, so
I see on the back there's a spider web that says something. Is there a spider in the story?
Yes, that's Charlotte.
Oh, it's her web.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
She writes words and
how does she write? She's a spider.
she writes with her web.
Oh.
And she writes out words with her web. And the people start to see. And they read it every day. And it always is a different couple of words.
And does it help Wilbur?
Yes.
Are they friends?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
So why is Charlotte helping Wilbur?
So that he can stay alive
Oh.
and not turn him into bacon.
Oh my goodness.
I do love bacon, but it sounds like Wilbur is some pig.
Ha ha.
That's what it says.
All right. So who would you recommend this for?
I would recommend it for kids and adults.
Anybody, really.
Yeah.
Right? Anybody who likes unexpected friendship.
Yeah.
Found family.
Sadness.
Sad. We like sadness?
Sometimes it's good to feel sad.
Yeah.
Books can help you feel sad and then know it's going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing this. That's very cool.
Love it.